Hey y'all. Again, doing this one tonight. We just got back from transport late last night. I think I got to bed about 12:30. Tonight's topic: appreciation of a rescue's help. Um, a lot of people just take for granted that a rescue can take your dog at the drop of a hat. Um, it's not always the case. Most of the time, you get lucky. Um, Most of the time, you get lucky and they can find room somewhere. Let me back up a minute. Um, Transport. Just a quick note on transports for everybody that uses us. Um, Here's what I would appreciate. I've already posted the paperwork that I need uh, to transport your dog to wherever. Least you can do is have that. I don't need to be waiting in a vet's office for 30, 40 minutes in the morning, day of transport, for you to get your paperwork. Uh, it's on our page. It's been said every time somebody asks me what they need, and I tell them. Health certificates. Health certificates I will not leave with your dog on my transport if I don't have one. I don't care what the receiving state requires. I need it to go through the other 4, 5, 6, 7 states just to get there. Because if I get stopped, dogs are probably going to go into quarantine. Minimum quarantine basically is 2 weeks. You're going to be pretty pissed off at me if you can't get your dogs for another 2, 3 weeks. So the paperwork that I asked for, that's exactly what I mean, and that's exactly what I need. If I don't have it, dog's not going. If I can spend a week getting the run together, planning times, ETAs to pickups, to drops, and final destinations, and that's usually between 4 or 5 different people. If I can get them lined out, least you can do is get a set of paperwork lined out for one dog. Get it done and the dog's not going. That's all I'll say about that part. Everybody knows we took Kitty, Annie, and Dolly up to Connecticut to Cheryl. She's got them. She's already got fosters for them. Their chances of finding a great home are extremely better up there. We didn't have any interest down here, so that's why they went up. Hopefully nobody will say that we gave up on them, didn't give them a chance, didn't try harder, whatever the lame excuse is for the people that just want to stir the pot. We had them for a couple months. Tried finding fosters. We couldn't find them. Matter of fact, Marianne Slosser, who just come on and watched, she was one of the ones that received Kitty, Annie, and Dolly. So I thank her and her group. Sometimes you have to get them to a better place. You may not be able to get a dog out. Some rescues hold on to them for a year or so. I would rather not. One, mainly because I don't have the space or that type of facility. Next trip will be Red to Tennessee. If all goes well, he will go up there to a semi-permanent foster to Terry Dempsey. Paco, he will be going also up to the north to New Jersey. Pennsylvania, to a lady up there who just had to put hers down due to old age. She saw Paco. We spread the word up there. Shelly, and she'll kill me. I can't remember her last name. I've transported for her before. Shelly found somebody that was looking for him. Looking for one like Paco. She knows about his back legs being broke. She wants a smaller dog. That's the one she wants. First time she saw him, she fell in love with him. So he'll be going up there straight into his adoptive home. Red, the best place for Red right now is probably going to be Tennessee. And I say that because they have one dog, a lot quieter household. That's what Red needs. He's shown a little bit of spunk since we brought him back. A lot of it, I do believe, if not all of it, is just due to the chaos here with the rest of our dogs. So he'll be going up there on next trip. Now back to the topic at hand. Appreciation to a rescue for their help. I know it's not just us. It happens every day, probably to every single rescue. And I know Marianne can vouch for this. And the only reason I say her name is because I know she is actually part of a rescue, a rather large one. When you reach out to a rescue and you're asking them for help, and you're probably going to get 1,000 questions. What the situation is, what's wrong with the dog or horse or whatever. You're going to get 1,000 questions. The reason behind that 1,000 questions is not necessarily because they're doubting you. They are already trying to place that dog into a foster as soon as you start the conversation, or at least I am. They're going to ask you about temperament. They're going to ask you what's medically wrong with the dog. You would think that it would just be common decency. Be honest with them. If you really want help for the dog, be honest with them. Tell them everything, good and bad. Rescues don't necessarily have unlimited space for unlimited amount of animals. Most people do it in their house. Very few I know have a facility where they actually keep them if they don't have fosters or if they're not foster based. A lot of them put them in boarding. That costs money. It costs money to the rescue, and it costs a lot of money. They don't necessarily get the one-on-one time that they need. So their temperaments have a very good chance of changing. It may not be the same temperament of the dog as if you've got it in a home and you've got one or two kids and they're outside playing with it every afternoon after school. They need to know that. So when you start claiming that you have no sound, Paula, when you start claiming that you have a sick dog and you don't know what's wrong, and a rescue chimes in on that post, making suggestions based off of what you're telling them, don't get upset with them because they're actually trying to help. Let me back up. Don't get upset with them because the good rescues are actually trying to help you. They may not necessarily want to take your dog. They want to help you so you can keep it. It would be the same for a lot of animal control officers. They don't really want your dog. They want you to take care of it. So when you get rescue people chiming in on your post when you have a sick dog, and they are giving you suggestions or possibilities of why the dog is sick, don't get pissy with them. Maybe something that you overlooked, maybe something you just don't know, maybe something you haven't seen before. Be thankful that you actually had somebody step up and want to help you. Appreciate the help that you're getting, because most vets, you're going to pay about anywhere from $35 to $50 fee as soon as you walk through the door. For them to tell you probably the same thing that what some of the rescue people are going to tell you. Don't get pissy about it. Now, when you finally make that decision to surrender the dog to that rescue, and they tell you exactly what they're going to do, which is more than likely take it straight to the vet to get it checked out by somebody who, well, that's their job. And they may have a good idea, but they want that professional opinion to get that done. So now they can start getting it on the right medications and get it took care of, no matter what the problem is. So they take it to the vet. They get a diagnosis from the vet. Maybe the same, maybe not. Maybe what all the comments were saying could be wrong. So you got to be careful of who's answering and what they're telling you. You need to have a little bit of knowledge of the animals that you're trying to save. So the dog goes to the vet. The worst case scenario is ruled out rather quick, which is a good thing for everybody. The former owner can be a little bit relieved that it's not as bad as what they thought. The rescue is definitely relieved that it's not as bad as they thought, just due to potential costs that it could incur. And the dog's not near as stressed out, especially once you get him on the medications. So when you're dealing with rescues and you're asking for their help, just be thankful that somebody's giving you free advice. A lot of them won't even chime in until you surrender the dog. And then when you surrender the dog, you have no say-so whatsoever over the dog. They're not going to contact you and let you know what happened with the dog. As far as when you take it to the vet, they're just not going to do it. They're not going to waste your time with you. So if you have a dog, whether it's a stray, one you adopted from a shelter, a pound, rescue, whatever the case may be. Now, if you adopted it from a rescue, I really hope you have the decency to go back to that rescue and ask them about the dog in more detail. Especially when it comes to medical. That may have been something that just picked up after they got to your home. For those of you that have been with me on transport that think all I do is drink Dr. Peppers, nope, this is what I drink at the house. So, yes, Paul, I do drink water. So just be thankful. If you decide to keep the dog, at least you have a better idea what's going on with it. This is not to bash anybody or put anybody down or make anybody feel stupid. We took in 2 dogs. We took them in. We took them in to save them, obviously. The former owners didn't want to keep them because they thought there were some major issues. The first one was Waylon. I'm not knocking her. She got her to the best place. The situation there was not going to end well for Waylon. We took him to our vet, and I'm not saying that our vet is perfect and he's exactly right on every single thing that we've ever done, because I'm sure he's made his own mistakes, just like any other vet. If my sister's watching, she'd probably vouch for that, or Marianne. Vets do make mistakes. Thankfully, we haven't been in that position yet. Waylon was the first one, supposedly deformed in the back legs, no good. He wasn't going to live. I'll just say that. We took him about 3 to 5 days later, 5 to 7 days later. He was normal. Not really anything due to the former owner's fault. Especially when you got a lot of puppies. Some don't get to eat as much as the rest of them. We fed him. We made sure that he ate. He did get his fair share of food. If you saw the pictures when we first got him, his back legs looked like a horseshoe. They were completely rounded starting at the hips. He did have a small issue due to growth from when he was born, that he did have a hole in the top of his hips. That started growing together as he matured and got healthier. He was fine. In about a week, his legs straightened right up. Now, he was still puppy clumsy, but he was fine. Now, Waylon, squirrely, knot-headed Waylon, is over at some friend's house with their autistic boy and will probably end up being his service dog. The second one was today. A lot of you saw Laura. The pictures before we got her were the video wasn't good. Was her squalling on the floor. We were told that she couldn't get up, she couldn't walk at all. Feet were all out to the sides and squalling. Squalling like he was beating her to death. We got her today. I was contacted yesterday on my way back from Connecticut. We had just come into Louisiana. Somebody messaged me, shared the post to me in Messenger. Went to the post, started the conversation there, and took it to private message. Made the arrangement to pick her up today. I'm not convinced something else is, something's just not right, I guess. Just my gut feeling, just saying that something else is not right. But we got her. Took her to the vet. She didn't squall the whole way from Leesville to Rose Pine. Didn't squall at all. Took her in there. We weighed her. She was 1.6 pounds. Pretty much fit in the palm of your hand right now. She looked a little scared. Not bad. Took her into the vet. He took a fecal, and she never squealed or anything. Jimmy was holding her, talking to our vet, and she stands up. Not all the way, but you could definitely tell that all the weight was on all four of her legs. She stood up. The only time she did cry, which was very little, was when Jimmy wasn't touching her. I think that was more out of fear than anything at that time, because right now she's in a playpen. She's sound asleep. Our vet doesn't see anything medically wrong with her other than she was loaded with worms. He told me that normally when he takes a fecal and a dog has worms, it's real spotty on the slide. The slide was full. Now, I like my vet. I think he's cool as shit. They let me look at the slides, and if you know me, I'm going to look. Didn't matter where he moved the slide, you could see worms on it. Right there where his microscope is, he's got a picture, a poster of what the worms look like under a microscope. Obviously not for him, but for people like me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that they do it with. So I could see what I was looking at underneath the microscope. I was looking through it, and he was moving the slide. No matter where he moved the slide, I could see a worm, one of the worms in that slide, and usually 2 to 3 worms in the slide through the microscope. So she is loaded. Unfortunately, with her being so young at 4 weeks, that's probably a very, very good indication that mama has them too. They're probably getting them from her, being that that's where they're getting all their food from. So now you've got 6 other pups with worms. You don't treat mama, at the very least, your puppies are probably going to die. And if you're that heartless to think that will just heal on its own, I promise you it is not a pretty sight watching a dog die from being infested with worms, no matter what you do. It's pretty heartbreaking. Even the hardest person, you'll see a crack in them. It is not, it's not pleasant. So if you, I'll say this to the responsible, well, no, I won't say it to the responsible one. Irresponsible ones, if all you're in it for is the money, which is quite obvious, because you're not worming your dogs, at the very least, and down here you would better, because they're probably going to die. Now, if you're not worming your dogs with anything, cats too, and now you're breeding them, pretty much all you're doing is spreading that right to the puppies through her milk. Don't be an asshole. Get your dogs to the vet. Sometimes you can't do it. Sometimes they do need to go to a vet, get something a little bit stronger, maybe a higher dose that you're not aware of or you're not sure that you can give. So take them to the vet. Let them do it. They may give them multiple antibiotics to fight it. If they deem that there's already damage to the insides, might be a couple different antibiotics. That don't just assume that because they are getting the milk from mama that everything's going to be healthy and hunky-dory and everybody's going to live happily ever after. If mama's got it, puppies are going to get it. Get them wormed. If you're going to breed, at least be responsible to keep the parents healthy. That increases your chances to that increases your chances to having healthier puppies. Take care of your dogs. If you're breeding and doing it for the right reasons, you should be already. If you're not and you're looking for the $150 or $200 or $600 or $700, whatever you're selling them for, and you don't give a shit about the puppies, you're an asshole. You're not doing it for anything other than money. I do know one breeder personally that is in it for the breed, trying to improve it, trying to take any quirks out, any medical quirks out along the bloodline that he has. Do it for the right reasons. You making $150 off your adoption fee, or so you're not even adopting them, you're selling them. Which, yes, there is a difference. Adopting them out through a rescue, you're probably gonna have a home check and a vet check, and some rescues even ask for references. If you ain't got references, that application is probably null and void before they ever get to the home check and vet check. Just take care of your animals. So now, to the topic. You just took up about a half a day or a day talking to this rescue. You come to the conclusion that you're going to surrender this dog or cat or horse, whatever you got, to take it because you don't know what's wrong. You don't have the funds to take care of it. May need quarantining. You don't have a place to do that. So you agree with the rescue to surrender the dog to them. Now, here's what I'm going to tell you, and I don't mean this to be mean or to be an asshole. Once you surrender that dog, the dog's no longer yours. That belongs to the rescue. When the rescue tries to help you in keeping your dog, because like I said, I go up to Connecticut every month. A lot of times stop in Pennsylvania and New Jersey on the way, bringing dogs up there to rescues. Doesn't necessarily mean they actually have the room. They take them to save them from down here to allow the rescues here that are working with them to be able to save more. Once you as an individual give that dog up to a rescue, that dog belongs to them. So when they get it from you and they go to their vet and they get it checked out and they get all the prescriptions and antibiotics and worming and may just be a matter of getting up to date on shots. Some cases may need a surgery to get the problem fixed. you pretty much don't have a right to that dog. They're the ones who put out the money. You have already said that you don't have the money to do that. Not saying rescues are loaded, because they are far from it. The rescues I work with, if they were, there wouldn't be a dog on the street. But nowhere between here and Massachusetts, to include the Gulf Coast states and the East Coast states, there wouldn't be a dog on the streets if they were loaded. So don't assume that just because they're taking your dog, they've got the money and they can do all this and that and everything else and get it in the boarding, and they can, spend money on trainers and do all that. They don't. They do it for the love of the animal, whatever it is. They will find a way to get the money to pay for that vet visit. Whether it's going in, simply getting an antibiotic and coming home and keeping the dog in a quiet place, or up to getting major surgery done on it and still having to find a quiet place for them to recover. So when the rescue, sometimes they will respond back and let you know what was wrong with the dog. They're not telling you to make you sound bad or sound like you're not educated on what you're doing or anything like that. They're doing that to give you a heads up on what was wrong, because if you have other dogs or other animals around, they could very well catch what they have. Don't be an asshole and get pissed off at them because you have an ego problem, or you think that rescue is just trying to belittle you and making you feel stupid. They're doing that to educate you. There's a big difference between belittling and educating. Most rescues that I know would rather educate you on what you need to do and what you don't need to do as far as your animals, rather than take them. If you're looking at it as them being pissy because you just have this bad impression of a rescue as being arrogant, snobby people, you've been around the wrong rescues. There are some out there like that. There's some locally like that. No matter where you're at, whether you're here, whether you're New Orleans, whether you're, up in the Northeast, Texas, it doesn't matter. Florida, there's arrogant, snooty people in it, thinking they know what's best. No, that's not always the case. Now, if you don't have the money and the rescue does, you're better off letting the rescue have it. Let them spend their money on it, get the dog took care of, and they will go through the entire process just like it was somebody else's dog, and get, find a foster for it, find the right foster for it. Find the right home for it. A lot of the bigger rescues have the luxury of having fosters that only want to deal with medical dogs. They have them that only want to deal with older senior dogs. They have them that only deal with blind and deaf, amputees, special needs kind of dogs. They have fosters for them, usually. That's not every single time. Then they have just a regular normal foster that will just take any dog in, that needs help, because they truly want to help. But the bigger rescues with the more people involved, they can usually find somebody within their group to take that dog for medical reasons, and they'll be able to get it in the right place where it can recover. They know that the person's going to give it the meds. And the dog's going to get healthy, it's going to get healed up, and in a couple months, maybe sooner, maybe just a couple weeks, the dog's back good, and they'll start actively posting it to get the dog adopted. But don't sit there and think because someone's trying to help you, that a rescue's trying to help you, and because your ego is getting in the way, that now you just want to get pissy with them. You can get pissy with them, or you can block them on Facebook, block them on Messenger, whatever. Just stop talking to them, not answering anything else. pretty selfish on your part, pretty childish, really. Again, you just got free advice that a vet's going to hit you up for anywhere from 35 to probably 50, 60 bucks just walking through the door. And you got it free online. Just don't be a shithead and take it for granted that a rescue can always help you. They will actually try to educate you and help you through the problem and want you to keep your dog. So don't think that, they're just trying to, I don't know, they're trying to be mean to you, I guess is the best way to put it. Could I tell you with this one, had no intention of taking in any more dogs. We've got some problems we're working out here. We just sent 3 puppies up 2 days ago. Fixing to send 2 more up, and then we just picked another one up. So we had no intention of taking that dog. When I sent the video, I thought the worst. So we snatched him up, hoping to get help. Thank God that there was nothing worse. There was nothing, nothing like spinal damage, broke back, pinched spine, nothing like that. So we were very thankful for that. We went in thinking the worst and came out doing pretty good. She's going to be fine. Hopefully we caught the worms in time. She is young. The last video I put up, she was eating hard food. I say hard food, it's soaked in water for about 30 minutes. So it just takes time. If you don't know how to fix a problem, get with one. Get with a rescue. Get with friends that are involved with rescues. These rescues that have been around for a while have seen a lot of different things. A lot of symptoms that look like something that it may not be. With our vet, he said that he saw a dog right after he gave it wormer poop out enough worms in a ball that would fill an adult man's both their hands. He said he'd never seen that before. He hopes he never sees that again. So be thankful that somebody actually wanted to help you. Especially when they know right off the bat that all you're doing is fixing to sell them. I tend not to believe a whole lot of people until you actually produce whatever you say you're going to do. I believe dogs' actions a lot more than what I believe what people say. So, if you are or you have friends, or you're one of the ones that you might have questions you want to ask somebody, ask a rescue. Just don't get pissy when they start telling you answers and they take the dog and they take it to the vet and then they actually respond to you and let you know what happened, and it's not as bad as what anybody thought. Don't get pissy about it and then block them, delete them, cuss them out, whatever you're going to do. Be thankful that it's not that, because your bitch ass was just going to sell it for $150 just to make some money. If you gave a damn, you would care that the dog is going to be fine. Don't be mad because you lost $150 or $200 or $600 or whatever it is you're trying to sell the animal for. If I got mad every time I lost money to cover a transport, I'd have packed this shit in a long time ago. It's not about the money. It's about getting the dogs up to a better place to be. Get them into better homes, better fosters, better rescues. Not necessarily better rescues. Bigger ones that can accommodate more and be able to get these dogs into better homes. We've had a couple that we just haven't been able to get into homes down here. That was the last topic, working together. Rescues can't do it alone. They need people to help. They don't need, yes, Lisa. They don't need, like Lisa just quoted, they don't need your bitch ass to be complaining because you just tried to help them and they're mad because of the answer. It's not as bad as what they thought, so now they're mad because they gave up the dog, and it's all about, well, gee, I shouldn't have never gave it up then. It's never about giving up the dog. It should be about getting the dog fixed, well, whatever the problem is. So whether you're selling them, legitimately breeding them, you're in a rescue, whatever it is, and you're taking in animals, their health should be one of your biggest concerns. Because even if you are selling them, if the dog's not healthy and people know what they're looking at, you ain't gonna sell them. You're ruining your breeding pair by overbreeding. Take care of the animals. Be appreciative of the help that you get that's free. It's not always free. Some people will, some people won't. There are rescues out there just arrogant enough to, basically tell you that, well, just give us the dog and we'll take care of it. And they won't tell you anything. Most of them will try to give you ideas to get the problem fixed, because they don't want everybody's dog. You got roughly 37,000 people in Beauregard Parish. You could easily triple that number to the amount of pets just in Beauregard Parish. I don't know a rescue can take in 70,000 animals, not even over a year. If you are, you're flipping them, or you're using them for bad things. So if you're asking for help, whether it's from a rescue, individuals, maybe on online vet talk, be thankful that you're getting it. Some people won't. A lot of people won't help you. Just be appreciative that there was actually somebody there that was willing to help you. It's all the good ones. It's all from experience and what they've seen, what they know, what they've learned. Because I assure you, these people that have been in rescue for 10 years, 12 years ago, they didn't know then what they know now. 12 years ago, they probably wouldn't be able to tell you with a straight face that they would be where they're at now, running a rescue. Just be thankful. Be happy that if you're truly about the animal, be happy that the animal's fixed, that it's not as bad as what the initial causes were thought to be. Be happy the dog's going to live, because a lot of them don't. They get sick in shelters and pounds and humane societies and even rescues. They get sick. But the other places that are publicly run, usually by people who don't give a damn, a lot of animals die. They don't have the funding for medications. They don't have funding for a vet. So be thankful for the rescue that just helped you out of a bind, potentially, to take your dog, to get it fixed, to get it better, and to get it into a good home. So that's it for tonight. Hopefully, like I say, I think pretty much every weekend, hopefully somebody gets something out of it. May not be you, maybe somebody that you know. But hopefully the information that we do put out every week, hopefully people get something out of it, at least one person. If we can help one person out, that's a start. We're not going to fix an entire parish at once. We start with one, we go to the next person and move on to the next till we can get the right things in place and start moving forward, and things are better for animals. So, talk with your vets. Matter of fact, you can call Mary Ann. She will be more than happy to help you. No, I'm not giving out her phone number. Talk with your vets. Have a close relationship with your vets. Your dogs can't talk, so they can't tell you. But talk with them. Let them know what's going on, even if it's not a vet visit. You know, if you're stopping in there to get pills or whatever, just bring it up to them, or bring it up to one of their techs. Usually, you will find at least one or two vet techs in the office that actually know what they're doing. Ask them. You know, they may be able to save you a lot of money from bringing that dog in. Maybe something you can do at home. So, have a good relationship with your vet. Ask questions, and be thankful that you're getting answers and not being attacked. Because the post that I was shown, that could have easily gone the other way. Person could have easily been attacked for numerous reasons, but it wasn't. So I was happy the post didn't go like that. Was, however, disappointed how it all ended. You know, so be thankful. If you're truly in it for the animal, you'll be happy and thankful that the dog is, or cat or cow, horse, whatever it is, that the animal's going to live. It's going to be fine. And the people that have it will put it into, you know, the best home that they can find them. So just be thankful for your rescues. They do have a lot of knowledge out there. They've seen a lot of stuff. Probably half of it they wish they hadn't. And if you're involved in rescue or even vets, you'll understand what I'm saying. A lot of stuff you can't unsee. That may be, you know, actual abuse. That may be stuff you see in your head. So be thankful to your rescues, the good ones, and you'll know once you start talking to them. Be thankful for them for their advice, and appreciate them for another, and help them out. So, you know, just be appreciative. So, all right, thank y'all. Hopefully we help somebody out, and you know, at least one person. So we'll be on next week again. I'm gonna try to upload this on the YouTube and get a YouTube page started and going. Maybe we can get some more publicity for the dogs and some more coverage. So one more thing. Angel Metcalf still has a shit ton of cookies to sell. Go buy them all. I haven't figured out why she still has Thin Mints. Go buy them. We have an event this Saturday at Sam Burgers in Leesville. It's supposed to rain. If I'm going to be out there, you can come out too. If I'm going to be out there, you can come out too. We'll have a couple canopies. We'll be doing the microchipping. Should have some chips in tomorrow. Who put that on there? Beverly Armand started the fundraiser from Custom Ink. You can go to her page. It's all over the Bobby's Heart page. I think it's on the transport page. Lots of people have shared it. Go on there, buy you a shirt or a hoodie. You can also donate more. Over that, we got, I think it's 38 sold right now. The goal is, I believe, 50. Goal's 100. Would really like to see at least 50. You know, and a certain percentage of that comes to the rescue. I've also started my birthday fundraiser. It's obviously to Bobby's Heart. Donate what you can. I know we've got a lot of fundraisers going on right now. There's a lot of stuff that money can be used for. We still got to get Pringles fixed. We got to get Paco fixed. We've got to get Santana fixed. And Waylon fixed. And Wyatt fixed. You know, so the money is always a help. If you don't want to put it through PayPal, that's perfectly fine. You can put it to the vet that we use in Rose Pine. Animal Care Clinic of Rose Pine. So hopefully everybody remembers everything I just said. Yeah, we'll talk to y'all next week. Appreciate everybody watching. And y'all have a good night. It's supposed to rain from now, I think, until next Wednesday. So, y'all have a good night. Talk to you later. Bye.